Chosen one, there is something I have been doing behind the scenes of your life that you are not ready to speak about yet. What you have been waiting for is closer than you realize. But if you reveal it too soon, you may expose what I am still protecting. Not every seed is meant to be uncovered before it takes root. Some miracles are guarded in silence until the appointed time. Listen carefully. Do not skip this message because what I'm about to reveal now can change everything you think of. If you leave now, you may miss the answer you have been praying for. Have you been wondering why I have been asking you to be quiet? Why your spirit feels uneasy every time you feel the urge to tell someone what you believe I have promised you? You thought it was fear, but it was my wisdom gently pulling you back. There are seasons for speaking, and there are seasons for remaining silent. Wisdom knows the difference. Some of you have been carrying a promise that nobody else understands. Every time you tried to explain it, people questioned you. They laughed. They doubted. They planted fear where I had planted faith. And afterward, you felt confused, discouraged, and even wondered if you had heard my voice at all. But I say to you today, your silence is not weakness. It is protection. There are things I whisper to my children in private because I am preparing them before I reveal them publicly. Not every vision belongs in every conversation. Not every dream should be shared with every ear. Some hearts celebrate you, while others secretly compete with you. Some mouths speak encouragement, but their words carry seeds of doubt. That is why I am teaching you to treasure what I have spoken until my timing is complete. Remember what my word says in Ecclesiastes 3 verse 7, there is a time to keep silence and a time to speak. I have never been late. I have never forgotten my promises. I am simply working in ways your eyes cannot yet see. Perhaps you have been asking me, Lord, why does it feel like nothing is happening? My child, the deepest work I do is often invisible. A tree grows its roots long before anyone admires its branches. The strongest foundations are built where no one is watching. What I am building in your life is no different. Do not measure my faithfulness by what you can see today. Measure it by my character. Have I ever failed my children? Have I ever abandoned those who trusted me? Even when you could not trace my hand, I was still guiding your steps. Type Amen if you receive this message. Look at the life of Joseph. I gave him dreams that were greater than anything he had ever seen. But when those dreams were spoken to the wrong audience, they stirred jealousy instead of celebration. The dream was from me, but the timing of sharing it brought unnecessary pain. Yet even then, I did not abandon him. I used every betrayal, every prison cell, and every moment of waiting to prepare him for the palace I had already planned. What others intended to stop, I turned into the very road that fulfilled my purpose. That is why Genesis 50 verse 20 reminds you that what was meant for evil, I can use for good. Now ask yourself this. How many times have you spoken too soon because you were desperate for someone to confirm what I had already placed in your heart? Why were you looking for human approval when heaven had already spoken? Why did you expect everyone to understand a vision I gave only to you? My child, not everyone is assigned to walk into every chapter of your life. Some people only knew the old version of you. They cannot recognize the person I am shaping because they continue to look through yesterday's eyes. If they cannot see what I am doing, do not become offended. Continue walking with me. I am not asking you to convince everyone. I am asking you to trust me. You have spent nights crying where no one could see you. You smiled during the day while carrying questions that weighed heavily on your heart. You wondered why the doors remained closed. You questioned why your prayers seemed to echo back in silence. You even asked, Lord, have you forgotten me? No, my beloved. I heard every prayer before the tears reached your face. I counted every sleepless night. I saw every moment when you almost gave up but still whispered my name. Psalm 56 verse 8 says that I keep track of your tears. Not one tear has fallen without my notice. Not one cry has escaped my attention. What if the delay you have been fighting is actually my protection? What if I opened the door 6 months ago, but you were not yet ready to carry what was behind it? What if the blessing you keep asking for would have become a burden because your character had not yet been strengthened? Would you still call me unfaithful, or would you recognize that my love sometimes says, wait? You see waiting as punishment. I see waiting as preparation. Gold is refined by fire before it becomes valuable. A builder lays the foundation before raising the walls. A farmer plants the seed and patiently waits for the harvest because he understands that growth cannot be rushed. In the same way, I am doing a work inside you that cannot be hurried. Do not confuse silence with absence. Just because I am quiet does not mean I have stopped working. The greatest miracles often begin where human eyes see nothing at all. Before Lazarus walked out of the tomb, it looked as though all hope had died. Before David wore the crown, he spent years running through the wilderness. Before Esther stood before the king, I was preparing her heart in hidden places. Do you see the pattern? I prepare my people in secret before I reveal them in public. So stop comparing your journey with someone else's highlight. Stop believing that because another person's blessing is visible, mine for you has been forgotten. I have written your story with purpose, and I do not copy pages from another person's life. My plans for you are not delayed by another person's success. They are established by my perfect wisdom. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 declares that my plans are for your good, to give you a future and hope. Hold on to that promise, even when your emotions try to convince you otherwise. The reason I am asking you to remain quiet is not because I want to keep you small. It is because I am protecting something too precious to expose before its appointed time. Just as a child grows safely in the womb before entering the world, some of my greatest works in your life must remain hidden until the day I choose to reveal them. Do not become impatient because you cannot yet see the full picture. You are standing in the middle of a story that I have already finished. I know the ending while you are still reading the chapter. That is why I tell you to trust me even when your understanding is limited. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. There is peace waiting for those who choose trust over control." Have you noticed how quickly doubt grows when you begin listening to too many voices? One person tells you it will never happen. Another says you are dreaming too big. Someone else reminds you of every mistake you have ever made. Before long, you begin repeating their words instead of mine. Your faith becomes weaker because you have allowed fear to speak louder than my promises. My child, whose voice will you believe? Will you believe the opinions that change with every circumstance, or will you stand on my word that never changes? Remember Noah. For years, he built an ark before there was even a sign of rain. People mocked him. They laughed at his obedience because they judged what they could see instead of trusting what I had spoken. But Noah did not build according to public opinion. He built according to my instruction. And when the day arrived that no one expected, those who laughed understood too late that obedience is always wiser than approval. There are moments when I will ask you to do something that makes no sense to those around you. Do not mistake their confusion for my absence. Not everyone can understand what I have not revealed to them. This is why I tell you, do not tell everyone what I am doing until I have completed it. It is not because I fear people. It is because I know the power of distraction. The enemy cannot cancel my purpose, but he will try to exhaust your mind. He will send discouragement through careless words. He will tempt you to abandon what I told you because the waiting feels too long. He wants you to quit one step before the breakthrough I have prepared. But I am calling you to stand firm. Even when you feel weak, I will be your strength. Even when you feel alone, I am beside you. Even when the path is dark, I am the light that goes before you. Do you remember how I led my people through the wilderness? There were days they could not see where the journey was leading. They became frustrated because they focused on the distance instead of my presence. Yet every day I provided exactly what they needed. Their future depended not on what they could predict, but on whether they would continue trusting me one day at a time. Some of you are asking for answers about the next 5 years. I am inviting you to trust me with today. Why? Because tomorrow is safest in my hands, not yours. Do not carry burdens that I have not asked you to carry. Worry cannot add one blessing to your life. Fear cannot create a single miracle. But faith opens your heart to recognize my hand even in the smallest moments. Think about the prayers I have already answered. Remember the doors I opened when you thought they would remain shut forever. Remember the strength I gave you when you believed you could not take another step. Was that your power? Or was it mine? If I have carried you through every valley behind you, why do you doubt that I will carry you through the one in front of you? Lift your eyes above your circumstances. The mountain before you may seem impossible, but I created the mountains. The storm may appear overwhelming, but I speak to the wind and the waves, and they obey me. The obstacle that makes you tremble is never greater than the one who walks beside you. So guard your heart, guard your words, guard the precious promises I have placed within your spirit. Not everything I tell you is meant for immediate announcement. Some promises are like seeds planted in fertile soil. If you dig them up every day to prove they are growing, you will only delay the harvest. Leave them in my hands. Water them with prayer. Strengthen them with my word. Protect them with patience. And when the appointed time comes, you will not need to convince anyone that I have been working. They will see my faithfulness with their own eyes. When I move in your life, my child, I do not need human permission. No one can close the door I have chosen to open, and no one can open the door I have chosen to keep closed. Revelation 3 verse 7 reminds you that when I open a door, no one can shut it, and when I shut a door, no one can open it. Rest in that truth. Your future is not controlled by the opinions of people. It is held securely in my hands. I know there have been moments when you questioned your worth. You looked at your past and wondered, can God still use someone like me? You remembered the mistakes no one else knows about. You replayed the failures that still bring tears to your eyes. Shame whispered, you have gone too far. But listen to me. If your past could stop my purpose, I never would have called you in the first place. I knew every weakness before I formed you. I knew every failure before you took your first breath. Yet I still chose you. Not because you were perfect. Not because you had everything together. But because my grace is greater than your failures, and my mercy is new every morning. Lamentations 3 verses 22 to 23 declares that my compassions never fail. They are renewed day by day. So why are you still carrying guilt that I have already offered to forgive? Come to me. Stop hiding behind a mask that tells everyone you are fine. I already see the tears you wipe away before anyone notices. I hear the prayers you cannot even put into words. I know the heaviness in your heart when you lie awake at night, wondering if anyone truly understands you. I understand. I have never turned away from a broken heart. Psalm 34 verse 18 says that I am close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in spirit. So do not believe the lie that you must fix yourself before coming to me. Come exactly as you are. Bring me your fears. Bring me your disappointments. Bring me the dreams you have buried because disappointment convinced you they would never happen. Place them into my hands. Have I not carried people through impossible situations before? Did I not provide for Elijah when everything around him seemed empty? Did I not strengthen Paul while he suffered hardship for my name? Did I not calm the storm when my disciples believed they were about to perish? Then why do you think your situation is beyond my reach? Nothing that concerns you is too small for me. Nothing that frightens you is too difficult for me. Nothing that has caused you to weep has escaped my attention. The answer may not arrive the way you expected. The timing may not match your calendar. But my delays are never without purpose. Sometimes I delay the blessing because I am removing dangers you cannot see. Sometimes I delay the answer because I am preparing people who will become part of your testimony. Sometimes I delay the breakthrough because I want you to discover that my presence is more valuable than the gift you have been asking for. Do you love my hand more than my heart? Do you seek only what I can give, or do you desire to know me more deeply? These are not questions to condemn you. They are invitations to examine your heart. Because when your relationship with me becomes your greatest treasure, no delay can destroy your peace. No disappointment can steal your hope. No rejection can define your identity. You belong to me. I have written your name upon my heart. And the work I have begun in your life, I will bring to completion. Philippians 1 verse 6 is not merely a promise for others, it is a promise for you. So keep walking. Keep praying when no one else sees. Keep trusting when the evidence has not yet appeared. Keep obeying even when it costs you comfort. The miracle is not only in what I am preparing for you. The greater miracle is what I am preparing within you. Because when the day finally comes that I reveal what I have been doing in secret, you will not stand there saying, "Look what I accomplished." You will lift your eyes toward heaven with tears of gratitude and say, "Only God could have done this." And on that day, every season of waiting will suddenly make sense. Until that day arrives, my child, protect your peace. Not every battle deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves your response. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Some of the greatest victories I will give you will come because you chose to walk away instead of proving a point. Strength is not always found in speaking louder. Sometimes strength is found in remaining still while I fight for you. As it is written in Exodus 14 verse 14, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." How much of your strength have you wasted trying to convince people who have already decided not to believe you? How many nights have you lost sleep replaying conversations, wishing you had said something different? Why are you carrying burdens I never asked you to carry? Release them. I did not create you to live as a prisoner of other people's opinions. Your value does not increase because someone praises you. Neither does it decrease because someone rejects you. Your identity was established the moment I called you my own. There are some of you listening right now who have become exhausted. You smile for your family. You encourage your friends. You tell everyone else that everything will be okay. But when you are alone, your heart feels empty. You ask yourself, who encourages me? Who sees what I am carrying? My beloved, I see you. When no one thanks you, I see your faithfulness. When no one notices your sacrifices, I see every act of love. When you choose kindness after being hurt, heaven records what the world overlooks. Nothing done for my glory is ever wasted. Even the prayers you think went unanswered are accomplishing more than you realize. James 5 verse 16 says that the prayer of the righteous is powerful and effective. Never underestimate what is happening in the unseen every time you call upon my name. Do not allow discouragement to silence your prayers. The enemy wants you to believe that because you have not seen immediate results, I'm no longer listening. That is a lie. Daniel prayed, and the answer was already on its way before he ever saw it. Yet there was a season of waiting. Daniel 10 reveals that heaven had already responded, even while Daniel could not yet see the outcome. Learn from this, my child. My silence is not the same as my absence. While you are waiting, I'm working. While you are trusting, I'm arranging what only I can arrange. Have you ever watched a master artist paint? At first, the canvas looks confusing. There are colors that seem out of place, brushstrokes that appear meaningless. If you judge the painting too early, you might think the artist had made a mistake. But when the masterpiece is complete, every stroke has a purpose. Your life is like that. Right now, you may only see scattered pieces. A closed door here, a painful goodbye there, an unexpected delay, a prayer that has not yet been answered. But I see the finished masterpiece. I know exactly where every detail belongs. Trust the artist, even when you cannot yet understand the painting. Remember Peter. He stepped out onto the water because he fixed his eyes on me. But the moment he focused more on the wind than on my voice, fear began to pull him down. Matthew 14 verses 29 to 31 teaches you that your greatest security is found not in calm circumstances, but in keeping your eyes on me. So where has your attention been lately? Have you been staring at the storm? Or have you been listening to my voice? The storm will always try to speak. Fear will always try to make predictions. But my word remains true above every circumstance. That is why I am telling you again, do not tell everyone what I have spoken over your life before my appointed time. Guard the vision. Guard your faith. Guard your expectation. Some things are too sacred to place into the hands of people who do not recognize my work. Just as Mary treasured the words spoken about my birth and pondered them in her heart, Luke 2 verse 19, there are promises I am asking you to treasure quietly until I bring them to fulfillment. Be patient. Be faithful. Be steadfast. The day is coming when what has been hidden will be revealed, not for your glory, but so that others will know that I keep my promises. I honor those who trust me, and I never abandon the ones who place their lives in my hands. When that moment comes, my child, do not forget the valley where I strengthened you. It is easy to praise me when the prayers have been answered. It is easy to testify when the miracle is visible. But the deepest faith is formed when you worship me before you see the breakthrough. Can you still trust me before the door opens? Can you still thank me before the healing comes? Can you still worship me before the answer arrives? This is the faith that moves the heart of heaven. Abraham did not know where I was leading him, yet he obeyed. Hebrews 11 verse 8 tells you that he went out by faith, not knowing where he was going. He trusted my voice more than his own understanding. That is the kind of trust one am building inside you. Do not fear the unknown. The unknown to you is completely known to me. Before tomorrow arrives, I'm already there. Before the next challenge appears, I have already prepared the grace you will need to overcome it. There is nothing that can surprise me. Nothing can interrupt my plans. Nothing can erase the destiny I have written for the one who continues to walk with me. But hear me carefully. There is another reason I have told you not to tell everyone what I am doing. Because when you speak too soon, you may begin depending on people's excitement instead of my presence. You begin measuring your confidence by how many people applaud your vision. When they celebrate you, you feel strong. When they doubt you, your faith begins to shake. My child, your confidence must be rooted in me alone. If no one applauds you, keep walking. If no one understands you, keep obeying. If no one believes what I have spoken over your life, keep trusting. The opinion of people has never determined the outcome of my promises. My word is enough. Remember David. Before he ever stood before Goliath, I was preparing him in lonely fields where no crowds were watching. While others overlooked him, I was teaching his hands to fight and his heart to depend on me. The victories over the lion and the bear were not accidents. They were preparation for the battle that would reveal my power. 1 Samuel 17 shows you that private victories always come before public triumphs. Do not despise your hidden season. Do not complain because no one notices your obedience. Heaven notices. I notice. Every act of faithfulness is precious to me. Every prayer whispered through tears reaches my ears. Every choice to forgive when your heart wanted revenge is seen by me. Every moment you resisted temptation when no one else was watching has not gone unnoticed. I am shaping a heart that reflects my own. Ask yourself this. If I gave you everything you have been asking for today, would you still seek my face tomorrow? Would you still open my word? Would you still spend time in prayer? Or would the blessing quietly replace the blesser? I ask these questions because I desire more than your hands lifted in worship. I desire your heart. I did not create you merely to receive gifts from me. I created you to walk with me. That is why Matthew 6 verse 33 says, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you." Notice the order. Seek me first, not the blessing, not the opportunity, not the recognition. Seek me. Everything else will come in the right season. So if you feel hidden today, do not assume you have been forgotten. A seed hidden beneath the soil is not abandoned. It is growing. An arrow pulled backward has not failed. It is being positioned to travel farther than it ever could on its own. Perhaps I have allowed this season to pull you back because I am about to launch you into something greater than you imagined. Do not fear the stretching. Do not fear the waiting. Do not fear the silence. These are often the places where my greatest work begins. Stay close to me. Stay humble. Stay faithful. And when the day arrives that I bring my promise into the light, you will understand why I asked you to remain silent. You will see that every delay carried purpose, every closed door carried protection, every tear carried meaning, and every quiet moment was preparing you for the testimony that only I could write. Then your life itself will become the message, and people will not simply hear about my faithfulness, they will see it with their own eyes. My beloved, there is something I need you to understand before you move into the next season I have prepared for you. Many people ask me for a miracle. Few ask me for the wisdom to steward that miracle. You have prayed, "Lord, bless me," but have you also prayed, "Lord, prepare me"? Because if I only changed your circumstances without changing your heart, you would eventually lose what I gave you. That is why I care more about who you are becoming than what you are receiving. Do not mistake my discipline for rejection. A loving father corrects the child he loves. Hebrews 12 verse 6 reminds you that I discipline those whom I love. Every lesson I teach you is shaping you into the person I created you to be. Think back to the moments that hurt you the most, the betrayal you never expected, the prayer that seemed unanswered, the opportunity that slipped through your hands, the relationship that ended, the door that closed without explanation. At the time, you thought those moments were destroying your future. Now look again. Did those painful seasons not teach you to pray more deeply, Did they not humble you? Did they not reveal who truly stood beside you? Did they not draw you closer to me than comfort ever could? Some of your greatest blessings were hidden inside your greatest disappointments. You asked me to remove every mountain. Instead, I gave you the strength to climb. You asked me to stop every storm. Instead, I taught you how to walk through the rain with your hand in mine. You asked for an easy life. I chose to give you an unshakable faith. Which gift will last longer? The temporary comfort, or a faith that remains standing when everything around you begins to fall? My child, there will always be people who misunderstand your obedience. Some will call you foolish because you refuse to compromise. Some will say you are wasting your time because they cannot see what I have promised you. Others will walk away simply because your pursuit of me makes them uncomfortable. Do not chase after those who choose to leave. Release them into my hands. Not every departure is a loss. Sometimes I remove people because they cannot go where I am taking you. Sometimes I close a chapter because the next one cannot begin until the old one ends. Trust my pruning. Did I not say in John 15 verse 2 that every branch bearing fruit is pruned so that it may bear even more fruit? Pruning is never pleasant, but it is always purposeful. So if you feel as though I have been cutting away things you once depended on, do not panic. I am making room for greater fruit. I am removing what would have limited you tomorrow. My beloved, I know the questions you have never spoken aloud. Lord, why has this taken so long? Have you truly heard me? Will this season ever end? Yes, I have heard you. Before your lips formed the prayer, I already knew the cry of your heart. Before you shed the first tear, I had already prepared the comfort you would need. And before this trial ever entered your life, I had already planned your victory. Never forget that. The enemy may know your history, but only I know your destiny. People may judge you by your worst day. I see you through the purpose for which I created you. So stop calling yourself what I have never called you. You are not your failure. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are not the labels others placed upon you in moments of anger or disappointment. You are the one I have called, the one I am shaping, the one I refuse to abandon. Lift your eyes, my child. Do not spend another day mourning over what I have already asked you to release. There are new mercies waiting for you this morning. There is fresh strength available for your weary soul. There is hope growing beneath the surface, even if you cannot yet see it. Walk forward with confidence, not because you know every step ahead, but because you know the one who is leading you. And remember this truth whenever you feel tempted to speak too soon about what I have placed in your heart. The strongest oak tree was once a silent seed hidden beneath the ground. No one applauded it while it was growing. No one celebrated it while its roots were stretching into the unseen. Yet when the appointed season arrived, its strength spoke louder than any announcement ever could. In the same way, let my work in your life mature in quietness. Do not rush what I am growing. Do not expose what I am protecting. For when I choose the moment to reveal my hand, no explanation will be necessary. The evidence of my faithfulness will speak for itself. My child, do not underestimate the power of quiet obedience. The world celebrates those who make the loudest noise, but I often choose those who have learned to listen. When you become still before me, you begin to hear what the noise of the world has been trying to drown out. Psalm 46 verse 10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Notice that I did not tell you to understand everything. I told you to know me. There is a difference. Understanding comes with time. Trust comes by relationship. The more you walk with me, the more you will recognize my voice, even when everything around you is filled with confusion. Have you noticed how easily fear speaks? One unexpected phone call, one disappointing report, one unanswered prayer, and suddenly your heart begins imagining a future I never wrote for you. Fear always paints pictures without my presence. Faith sees my presence even when the picture is incomplete. So which voice have you been feeding? The voice that tells you it is over? Or my voice that says, "With me, all things are possible"? My beloved, I have watched you carry burdens in silence. You tell others that you are doing fine. You laugh when people expect you to laugh. You continue working when your heart feels exhausted. But when the room becomes quiet and you are alone with your thoughts, the questions return. Lord, how much longer? My strength is running out. I don't know if I can keep going. Listen to me. You are not still standing because of your own strength. You are still standing because my hand has been holding you every single day. There were moments when you thought you carried yourself. No, I carried you. When you thought your faith was too weak, my faithfulness remained strong. When your prayers became nothing more than tears, I understood every tear as a prayer. Romans 8 verse 26 reminds you that even when you do not know how to pray, my spirit intercedes with groanings too deep for words. So never believe that your silence means heaven cannot hear you. I understand the language of broken hearts. I understand the prayers spoken through tears. I understand the cry that never leaves your lips. That is why I tell you again, do not tell everyone what I have spoken to you until I bring it to pass. Some people will try to rush what I have told you to wait for. Others will try to discourage what I have already approved. Still others will unknowingly distract you from the path I have carefully prepared. Protect the secret place where my voice speaks to you. Guard your time with me. Do not become so busy explaining your calling that you neglect the one who called you. Remember Mary, the mother of Jesus. There were moments she did not fully understand everything that was happening, yet Luke 2 verse 51 tells you that she treasured these things in her heart. She did not rush to explain every mystery. She trusted me with what she could not yet understand. Learn from her. Not every revelation requires an audience. Some revelations require worship. Some answers require waiting. Some promises require patience. And some miracles require silence until my perfect timing reveals them. My child, there is coming a day when those who doubted will witness what I have done. Not because you argued with them. Not because you defended yourself. But because my faithfulness cannot remain hidden forever. When I establish you, no one will be able to deny that my hand has been upon your life. They may not understand the process. They may never know the tears you cried in private. They may never see the nights you spent praying when everyone else was asleep. But they will see the fruit. They will see the peace that remained after the storm. They will see the strength that emerged from your weakness. They will see the joy that replaced your mourning, and they will know that only I could have brought you this far. So be patient a little longer. Pray a little deeper. Trust a little more. Love even when it is difficult. Forgive even when it hurts. Remain humble even when I begin to lift you up. Because the higher I take you, the more deeply you must remain rooted in me. A tree with deep roots is not afraid of strong winds. And a believer whose heart is rooted in my word is not shaken by changing circumstances. Stay rooted. Stay faithful. Stay close to my heart. For what I am preparing in secret is far greater than anything you could accomplish by announcing it before its time. And when the day of fulfillment finally arrives, you will look back over every delay, every tear, every closed door, every lonely night, and every silent prayer, and you will say with a heart overflowing with gratitude, Lord, your timing truly was perfect. My beloved, before I fulfill what I have spoken over your life, there is one final lesson I want to write upon your heart. Never allow the blessing to become greater than the one who blessed you. Many begin their journey with hearts full of dependence on me. They pray with passion. They seek me with sincerity. They trust me because they have nowhere else to turn. But when success arrives, when the prayers are answered, when the doors finally open, some slowly begin to depend on the gifts instead of the giver. Do not let that become your story. If I bless your hands, let your heart remain at my feet. If I increase your influence, let your humility increase even more. If I entrust you with much, remember that everything you have came from me. Deuteronomy 8 verse 18 reminds you that it is I who give you the ability to produce wealth. Never forget the source of every good thing in your life. Have you noticed how quickly people forget me when life becomes comfortable? When everything is going well, prayer becomes shorter. Worship becomes occasional. My word gathers dust while the worries of yesterday are replaced by the pleasures of today. My child, I do not desire to be your emergency contact. I desire to be your closest companion. Walk with me in every season. Seek me when the valley is deep. Seek me when the mountain is high. Seek me when your heart is broken. Seek me when your heart is rejoicing. For I never change. I was with you when no one believed in you. I was with you when you cried into your pillow, asking if life would ever change. I was with you when you lost what you thought you could never live without. And I will still be with you when I place into your hands what you have prayed for. My presence is the greatest miracle you will ever receive. Everything else is temporary, but I remain forever. My child, there are battles you never knew I fought for you. There were doors I closed because danger stood behind them. There were friendships I allowed to fade because they would have pulled you away from my purpose. There were opportunities one did not permit because they would have cost you your peace. You called some of those moments disappointment. I call them deliverance. One day, when you stand in eternity with me, you will see how many times my unseen hand protected you from what your eyes could not recognize. Then you will understand why I asked you to trust me when my reasons were hidden. Until then, live by faith, not by fear, not by appearances, not by the opinions of those who cannot see what I see. Live by my promises. Remember the words of 2 Corinthians 5 verse 7, "For we walk by faith, not by sight." That is the path I have called you to. Do not grow weary because the journey feels long. Even when you cannot see me working, I am arranging details that only heaven can orchestrate. While you sleep, I am working. While you wait, I am preparing. While you pray, I am moving hearts. While you remain faithful, I am opening doors no human being can shut. So remain still. Remain faithful. Remain grateful. And above all, remain close to me. Keep the vision I have entrusted to you hidden in your heart until I give you the peace to reveal it. Do not rush ahead of my timing. A fruit picked before it is ripe cannot satisfy the hunger it was meant to fill. In the same way, a promise revealed before its appointed season cannot display the fullness of my glory. Trust my timing. Trust my wisdom. Trust my heart. For I am not merely preparing a blessing for you. I am preparing you for the blessing. And when the appointed day finally arrives, the world may see only the fulfillment. But you will remember the hidden prayers, the silent tears, the lonely nights, the seasons of waiting, the moments when all you had was my word to hold on to. And with tears of gratitude, you will bow your heart before me and say, "Lord, every delay taught me to trust you. Every trial drew me closer to you. Every moment of silence revealed your faithfulness. You were working all along. Then you will understand why I whispered to your heart at the beginning of this journey. Don't tell anyone about this until it happens, because what I do in secret, I reveal at the perfect time. And when I reveal it, no one will be able to take the glory that belongs to me alone. My child, before you leave this moment with me, let these words settle deeply into your heart. Do not rush away from my presence. Sit with me for a little longer. There are things I can teach you in a moment of quiet that the world cannot teach you in a lifetime of noise. You have been asking me for signs, but I have been inviting you into deeper trust. The greatest evidence of faith is not believing after you have seen. It is believing while you are still waiting. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, conviction of things not seen." That is where I am calling you to live. Not by what your eyes can measure, not by what your emotions tell you, but by what my word declares. My beloved, some of you have almost spoken yourselves out of your own miracle. You became tired of waiting, so you began saying, "Maybe it will never happen." You became discouraged, so you started agreeing with the voices that told you to give up. Why would you water the seeds I planted with words of doubt? Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18 verse 21 teaches you this truth. Therefore, let your words agree with my promises instead of your fears. When you wake each morning, do not begin your day by rehearsing your worries. Begin by remembering my faithfulness. When fear whispers that nothing will change, answer it with my word. When loneliness tells you that you have been forgotten, remember that I have promised. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13 verse 5. When anxiety tells you the future is uncertain, remember that I already hold tomorrow in my hands. You ask me, "Lord, what should I do while I wait?" Pray. Read my word. Forgive those who have wounded you. Love those who are difficult to love. Serve without expecting applause. Be generous when no one is watching. Remain faithful in the small things, because whoever is faithful in little will also be faithful in much. Luke 16, verse 10. Do not waste your waiting. Turn your waiting into worship. Turn your waiting into preparation. Turn your waiting into intimacy with me. One day, you will look back and realize that the season you wanted to escape became the season where you came to know me more deeply than ever before. That is a treasure no one can take from you. So I say to you once more, my beloved, protect what I have spoken to your heart. Do not announce tomorrow's testimony before I have completed today's work. Walk quietly, trust deeply, love faithfully, obey willingly. And when my appointed time arrives, I will do more than answer your prayer. I will exceed what you imagined. As Ephesians 3 verse 20 declares, I'm able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that you ask or think, according to my power that is at work within you. Until then, keep your eyes on me. I'm not late. I'm not distant. I'm not finished. The story I am writing with your life is still unfolding, and every page is held securely in my hands. Wait with hope. Walk with courage. Remain in my love. For the promise I gave you is not fading with time. It is drawing nearer with every step you take in faith. This devotional centers on God's instruction. Don't tell anyone about this until it happens. The message teaches that God often works in secret before he reveals his plans publicly. Just as a seed grows beneath the soil before it becomes a tree, God prepares his children in hidden seasons of waiting, silence, and testing before bringing his promises to fulfillment. Throughout Scripture, God prepared people like Joseph, David, Noah, Abraham, Esther, Daniel, Mary, and many others in private before revealing his purpose through them. Their stories remind believers that delays are not denials. God uses trials, disappointments, closed doors, and seasons of loneliness to strengthen faith, refine character, and draw his children closer to him. The message emphasizes the importance of guarding God's promises, avoiding the need for human approval, and trusting God's timing instead of rushing ahead. Not every vision should be shared immediately, because some blessings must be protected until God completes his work. Silence can be an act of wisdom, faith, and obedience. Believers are encouraged to remain faithful during seasons of waiting by praying, reading God's word, forgiving others, serving with humility, and trusting that God is always working behind the scenes. Even when his presence seems quiet, he's arranging circumstances, opening the right doors, closing harmful ones, and preparing both the blessing and the person who will receive it. The devotional also reminds listeners that God's greatest gift is not simply the blessing they desire, but his constant presence. He sees every tear, hears every prayer, and never abandons those who trust him. Every delay has purpose, every trial has meaning, and every act of faithful obedience is noticed by him. The central lesson is that believers should keep their eyes on God rather than on people's opinions or difficult circumstances. They are called to walk by faith, protect the promises God has placed in their hearts, and patiently wait for his perfect timing. In the end, God reveals that when the appointed time arrives, his work will speak for itself. There will be no need to explain, defend, or convince anyone, because his faithfulness will be evident. What he begins in secret, he will reveal openly for his glory. The message concludes with a call to remain humble, obedient, prayerful, and steadfast, trusting that God's plans are always perfect and that every promise he has spoken will come to pass at exactly the right time.